let's get into the defensive line position group preview. And hopefully then I can get this done in these back 20 minutes, and then we can talk some recruiting news for 2026. If not, I'll push that to next week, though. That's not necessarily urgent. So there's 14 defensive linemen that we are going to be talking about tonight. Step down from the, 19 last week? I can check my notes. Yep, 19 last week. That was rough. But we got 14 this week on the other side of the ball. Starting our defensive preview as a whole, we have 4 returners. That is Jeremiah Warren, Alex Bray, Pat Farrell, and Gentle Hunt, my favorite name on this list. 3 transfers then, and the transfers are going to be big in this one. The last couple positions, there's only been like 1 or 2 transfers. But this one, with the exception of wide receiver, I feel like transfers haven't really had a big impact on this position group preview. Remember these 3 names that I'm about to tell you. These 3 transfers are Tomiwa Durojaye, James Thompson Jr., and Kurt Neal. There are then 5 returners who did not play. That is Angelo McCollum, Demetrius John, Guillermo Gallardo, Stephen Scott III, and Henry Engel. And then there are 2 new recruits, Cameron Brooks and Isaiah White. So, as always, I'm going to start with the returners, starting with Jeremiah Warren. He will be wearing number 8. That is a switch from his number 55 he wore last year. He is 6'3", 305 pounds. He is a sophomore from Belleville, Michigan. He played in all 12 regular season games last year as a redshirt freshman. He recorded 10 tackles across those 12 games. He's definitely, I think, going to step that up this year with not a ton of competition necessarily. There's no like clear standouts, I feel, at the position, especially for returners. You could argue that there are some at transfers. I'll get into that later. But I think definitely all 4 of these returners are, I mean, he played in all 12 regular season games already, but that was as a freshman. So I think it's fair to assume this is a big sophomore. He's one of the biggest guys on this entire list, and he's a sophomore. So definitely expect him to step it up. I'm very excited for Jeremiah Warren's future. Alex Bray, number 11. He is 6'4", 270. He is a junior from Chesterfield, Missouri. He played in all 13 games last year, so that includes the Cheez-It Bowl. Warren did not play in that game. He got 8 games for the Illini in 2023 as well. He had 20 tackles last year and a career-high 3 against Penn State and Rutgers. It's nice to have him back. Really nothing else to say about that. He's going to be a clear starter because he's been with the team for a couple of years now. He doubled Jeremiah Warren's tackle total. So exciting to have Bray back. I don't know if I would describe him as dynamic, but solid. That's really all you need. I like his stat line. I'd like having a junior up there since there's 2 sophomores. 2 of the 4 returners are sophomores. So I'd like to see his experience up there a little bit as well. He had the best stats of any of the 4 returners we're going to be discussing. So he is a clear starter. Pat Farrell will be wearing number 52. He is 6'5", 280 pounds. He's a sophomore from Oak Lawn, Illinois. He played in all 12 regular season games. He had 4 tackles across those 12 games and half a sack. That half sack came against Penn State, so very impressive. And lastly, the last returner is going to be Gentle Hunt. He's number 92. He's 5'11", but he's 305 pounds. And that is crazy. He's very compact. He is a senior. He's the only senior returner from High Springs, Florida. He transferred to Illinois from Florida A&M. He spent 4 years there, actually. He got a COVID year. That's why he's getting a 5th year here. And then last summer, he played in 5 games, the Illini, before then redshirting the season. First of all, 5 games is almost half the regular season. I find it crazy that you could redshirt after playing 5 games. Second of all, redshirt senior. Never heard of that before. But that's what we got. So he already spent 4 years. So really, this is his 6th year in college. So he definitely has the most experience. He had 2 tackles in those 5 games last year, by the way. But 2023, his last full season, that was with Florida A&M. He had 32 tackles for 5.5 sacks and a forced fumble in 12 games, and he was named All-SWAC second team. So none of these returners, like last week when we were talking about the offensive line returners, right? There's a lot of real standout guys like, oh my God, they were all Big Ten honorable mention and they were all this and all that. These guys are a little less hardware to go with them, if you will. But they still bring that nice experience. They bring team experience, but they're not going to necessarily clog the top of the depth chart like we've seen at most other positions. Since, again, I say this every week, but it really is just going to be the identity of this team for the entire 2025 season, that this team has one of the most highest return rates in the country. So that's what we've been getting a lot at our position group previews. However, the transfers are going to make a big impact at this position because they are actually going to be the most experienced, even if it's not with the Illini. Starting with Tomewa Durojaye. He is wearing number 36. He is 6'5", 300 pounds. He is a junior from Middleton, Delaware. He's transferring from Florida State. He's transferring with 2 years of eligibility remaining, so we'll have him for 26 as well, assuming he decides to stay. He played in 4 games at FSU last year. He had 3 tackles, 1 for a loss, and 1 sack. Pretty solid for only playing those 4 games before he decided to redshirt and then Illinois. But he's jumped around a lot, which is why of the 3 transfers, though they all have nice stat lines, he's the most concerning to me because he does have another year of eligibility, but he was also at West Virginia in 2023. He played in all 13 games for them. He had 23 tackles, 6 of them for a loss. He had 3.5 sacks and 1 QB hurry. He then played in 3 games at Kentucky in 2022. So Illinois is his 4th school in 4 years. And that always worries me. I don't know if that's reason to be concerned, but dudes who always do that don't typically stick around. So I wouldn't get excited about him having those 2 years of eligibility remaining. He also didn't play much last year, so I feel like he's a big question mark because he only got in those 4 games. He did pretty well in those 4 games. They had 3 tackles and a sack in 4 games. That's not bad. That's certainly not a bad start to the season. But I'm just a little concerned because of that and just that he's jumped around a lot. So I don't know what kind of role he is going to play. I'm a little skeptical. However, these next 2 guys you are going to be seeing a lot this year, and they are both new. They are both transferring from Wisconsin. Really interesting. They're bringing 2 defensive linemen from Wisconsin. The first is James Thompson Jr. He's wearing number 90. He is 6'6", 300 pounds. My Lord. He is a 5th-year senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, transferring from Wisconsin with 1 year of eligibility remaining. He played 5 years already at Wisconsin. He redshirted 2020, so that's why that didn't count. And then he missed 10 games last year due to injury. So he's another guy coming off injury. So he didn't play a lot last year, but he's had a really solid career. He played in all 13 games in 21, 22, and 23. So injuries haven't riddled his career. It really is just this one big injury from last year. So I'm not as concerned about that. He had 29 tackles, 5 for a loss, 3 sacks in his last full season in 2023, and he led the team in tackles that year. I love to see a guy not only with experience, but specifically Big Ten experience. This isn't going to feel like a whole new world to him. I think he's going to settle in very well. Of course, we're hoping that he recovers from his injury that he had last year. But because of that, he was granted another year of eligibility, and he's choosing to take it at Illinois. So maybe that's fate. Look out for James Thompson Jr. Next is Kurt Neal, number 99. He is 6 foot, 300 pounds. That's crazy. He's 6 inches shorter, but he's still 300 pounds. Damn. He is a junior from Cornelius, North Carolina. Also transferring Wisconsin, however, he has 2 years of eligibility remaining. He started every game for them at defensive tackle in 23 and 24. He had 29 tackles, 3 of them for a loss and half a sack last year, and he led the team in tackles last year. So Wisconsin's last 2 tackles leaders in 23 and Thompson and now Neal in 24 are both Illini. And he had a 4 tackle game. That was his season high. 4 separate times, though, he reached that, including one against then number 1 ranked Oregon. I love to see them stealing from Wisconsin. Again, I mean, I just kind of I'll just rehash this of what I just said from Thompson like a minute ago, that I like to see that he has not just experience, but Big Ten experience. I think Neal and Thompson are going to be running that defensive line. Now let's get into some returners who did not play last year. We have 5 of them. This is Angelo McCollum, wearing number 44. He is 6'2", 290. He's a sophomore from Pickerington, Ohio. That's fun. 3-star recruit, 4-year letter winner. He was the OCC Ohio Defensive Player of the Year and Division I Central Ohio District Defensive Player of the Year his senior year. He also played basketball, wrestled, and threw shot puts. A 4-sport athlete, my goodness. His other offers were Indiana, Pitt, and then almost the entire MAC conference. Next is Demetrius John, number 54. He is 6'3", 270 pounds. He's a redshirt freshman from Columbus, Ohio. A 3-star recruit ranked number 28 in the state of Ohio, according to On3. He had 125 tackles, 16 sacks, and 52 pressures across his high school career. He in 2023 was All-Ohio second team. That's really impressive. Wow. His other offers, at least the notable ones, are Indiana, Michigan State, Vanderbilt, Boston College, and West Virginia. So always when you get to these players that did not play, it's usually going to be those redshirt freshmen that actually have the best chance to play, even though they're the youngest, because the only reason they didn't play was because they redshirted. And it's sure, I mean, we have some guys on here now that are sophomores who did redshirt and still didn't get to play after redshirting. But they're the most likely to see the field of any of them. Demetrius John is one of the 2 of these 5 returners who did not play, so especially look out for that name. Guillermo Gallardo, that's fun as well. Number 56, he's 6'3", 315. Damn. He's a junior from Bloomington, Illinois. He played 2 seasons at New Mexico Military Institute before he transferred to Illinois last year, and then he did not play. In 2023, though, at the New Mexico Military Institute, he played 9 games. He had 25 tackles. One of those was for a loss. Stephen Scott III, number 67. He is 6'5", 285 pounds. He is a redshirt freshman as well. The other one to look out for from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. He played at, oh boy, this is high school. Hold on. This just looks like a jumble of letters. Menomonee Falls is what I'm going to guess. I'm so sorry to anyone from Menomonee Falls High School. But that's where he went. He was an offensive tackle there, actually. And he only had one other notable offer that was from Air Force. We'll see how he transitions as a defensive tackle. He's obviously redshirted last year, so didn't get to see that. But he's been working on it for a year and a half now. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Last, a returner as Henry Engel. He is number 93. He is 6'2", 295. He's a sophomore from Lena, Illinois. He's a redshirt in 2023. I apologize. He is a sophomore, but he redshirted in 2023 and then did not play in 2024. He was not ranked out of high school. He was a 3-year letter winner, though, and he won 3 straight state championships. He also wrestled and threw shot put. He almost got all the things that Angelo McCollum got done. You just had to play basketball, too, on top of all of that, and you would have matched him. Lastly, 2 new recruits on the defensive line that I want to talk about. Cameron Brooks, number 91. He is 6'3", 305. He is a freshman from Chicago, Illinois. He is a 3-star recruit, number 14 in Illinois by 24/7 Sports. He is 2023 All-Southwest Suburban Blue Conference player. He had 127 tackles, 38 of those for a loss, and 13 sacks across his high school career, and some decent other offers, including Cincinnati, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, and Kansas State. Seems like we got a lot of defensive linemen Indiana wanted. It came to Illinois. Lastly, Isaiah White, he has no number listed. I've talked about how I think that means he's going to redshirt, but you never know that for sure. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. He's a freshman from Indianapolis, Indiana. He is a 3-star recruit and is ranked number 10 in the state of Indiana by Rivals in the 2024 class. The 2025 class for recruits now. 4-year letter winner. He won a state title as a junior, and in 2024, he was All-Marion County. Other offers included Boston College, Louisville, Michigan State, Minnesota, Washington, and West Virginia. So overall, to put a bow on this defensive line position group preview, now that we're through all 14, I really like the transfers in this one. And that, as I was saying earlier, not really the case, except in the wide receiver position group preview. Justin Bowick coming in from Ball State. And then also from West Virginia. This was episode 6. I did this, by the way, if you want to check in on episode 6. Hudson Clement is his name from West Virginia. That's the big one. Like those 2 guys, right, are going to have a big impact on the wide receiver group because 2 stars are leaving. This is kind of how I feel too, right? It's Kurt Neal and it's James Thompson Jr., who I think are really going to make an impact as 2 transfers from Wisconsin. Illinois also gets to play Wisconsin. I always love to have guys doing a revenge game. Now that is a big thing in college. It used to be pretty rare to have a revenge game in college, but you got guys transferring within the same conference now. I mean, you got, again, just a whole different scape. But I like our 2 transfers from Wisconsin to lead the way on this defensive line. This will be one of the positions, since it's really the only other position that's not going to be started completely by guys that were there last year. It's going to be the defensive line and the wide receivers that are really going to determine if this team improves or moves backwards.